Over the last 2 weeks, African countries have been up in arms over what they say is the situation of the citizens being mistreated in China. The situation is now more complex for Kenyans in different parts of China, who tell us that they are now receiving free food and supplies from Chinese authorities in their residences, but there is a catch. Their passports have been confiscated and they can't leave their premises, despite most of them being COVID-19 free. Is this a forced quarantine or some form of detention? Waihiga Mwaura tells us more.
28-year-old Jane, not her real name, is enjoying a fruit in her apartment in Shenzhen, Guangdong province. She has little else to do at home because she is on mandatory quarantine. With incidents on the rise of Africans being barred from accessing public venues and others being evicted from their homes, she, together with other Kenyans, made a plan last week to go to Beijing to petition the Kenyan embassy to facilitate their journey back home. A request that was frowned upon by the Kenyan ambassador to China, Sarah Serem, in this message that was forwarded in various Kenyan WeChat groups in China.
The embassy has information that a group of Kenyans are planning to come to the embassy and stage a sit-in until the Kenya government evacuates them or takes care of their needs. Although I sympathize and understand very well the genuineness of these grievances, the sit-in will definitely not solve the problem. This requires a structured way, starting with formally submitting these issues in writing to us.
So currently I'm quarantined in my house, but I tested negative for the coronavirus. The reason why I'm in quarantine, even if I tested negative, is because a group of us Kenyans had agreed to go to Beijing, to the Kenyan embassy, because we wanted to be evacuated and go back home. And the police got the information about it, and they called each and everyone who wanted to go to Beijing. And once they called us, they came to our houses, they took our passports, and we were tested for the coronavirus, and we tested negative, most of us, but still we were asked not to leave our houses.
This is your quarantine.
The test?
Yeah, the test, yeah.
Okay. So I'm still supposed to stay in the house. Sorry? I'm still supposed to stay in the house. And the policeman, when he comes to my house, I asked him again, why can't I go outside? He told me it's because you want to go to Beijing and it is bad for the media. When the media sees that, like the US and other countries, then they're going to criticize China, and it is bad for the business for China and for the economy of China.
So tell me this, how did the authorities know who wanted to travel to Beijing and what their contact details were?
We asked the Kenyan embassy if they had told the police to come to our houses to stop us from going to Beijing, but they said they had nothing to do with it. But we were also confused, like this thing was only between Kenyans. And then on Wednesday, when they started coming for all the Kenyans, like those who had written down their names, we asked them, did you give out the names and their phone numbers? Because they started calling us and tracing us, like they could call you and trace you in your house.
So for now, Jane cannot leave her own home unless she is accompanied by security. In addition, she can order whatever she wants, and the supplies are brought to her apartment at no cost to her.
If you need anything, you just call them. They bring it to your house. But you have a policeman coming to check on you every day in the afternoon. It's not only me. I've talked to other Kenyans in Shenzhen, like few other Kenyans in Shenzhen, and they told me they're also not allowed to go out, and they were told it's because they were planning to go to Beijing.
Nevertheless, for other Kenyans, the situation has not been as rosy, as they have not been provided with supplies despite their forced quarantine. So there has been speculation that those who are evicted were targeted primarily because they had expired documents. Is there any truth to this?
Of course, not everyone who was evicted from their hotels or from their apartments were illegal. You can't live in a hotel if your visa is not valid. So saying that they were all illegal, it's not reasonable. And whether illegal or not, it doesn't justify them being evicted from their apartments or from their hotels.
She insists that her visa is still valid, but we were not able to independently verify this because she says her passport is still with the authorities. We reached out to the Kenyan ambassador to China, Sarah Serem, who told us on phone that she was personally monitoring the situation of Kenyans in China and she had not received any report of confiscated passports. Nevertheless, if she did, she would raise it with the authorities because that would be illegal. She also stated that the embassy is assisting Kenyans who need supplies at this time and the support is being channeled through Chinese authorities. According to this message forwarded in Kenyan WeChat groups in China, a chartered flight is being organized for those willing to bear their own expenses for the plane ticket and also for quarantine for 14 to 28 days. For many Kenyans in China, their income streams dried up as soon as the COVID-19 inspired lockdown took effect, but they tell us that they would still do anything to return home at this time. Reporting for Citizen TV, I'm Waihiga Mwaura.